You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good to Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. Peace, family. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all my scripture. Give me all my medicine in my room. Happy Friday. Go get strapped. Yes. Yes, Keith. Go get strapped. Tell a friend, tell somebody we on the air right now. Let's get it going. I got a little jazz playing in the background. Y'all know I can't play it on Facebook, otherwise they'll shut the stream down. So you can go to iHeart Radio. You can go to TuneIn Radio. You can go to WTCCFM.org if you want to catch the little bit of jazz that I play on Friday. Little Coltrane popping. Got some Otis Redding coming up next. Then we'll throw on something that y'all can hear over the live stream. Um, just don't want to risk them shutting me down because they be tripping. So anyway, tell a friend, tell somebody. We're on the air, we on the air, we on the air. Let me check out what's going on in each of my church settings. Okay, we got about 140 of y'all popping on the gram. Gotta make sure my music ain't going off. Let me see what we doing on the tube. Buck 40 on the gram. Let's see. Okay, we got about 160 of y'all on the YouTube. That's what the old people call it, the YouTube. On the YouTube. I don't know what we got popping on the Twitter space. But tell a friend, tell somebody we on there. Let me see what's happening on the book. See what's happening on Facebook. All right, we got almost 200 of y'all popping on the book. All right, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Let me know y'all can hear me. Let me know y'all can hear me. All right, Charlene, good morning. Born and raised in the field. All right, I see. All right, the field is representing today. 413. Y'all representing today. All kinds of. I see you, North Kakalaki. I see you, Atlanta. All right. I see y'all. I see y'all. I'll be in ATL shortly for the oh I'll be there for Black Star Week. The Atlanta Black Star is doing something Juneteenth week. So I'll be on a panel for them on that Monday, the 16th, the day after Father's Day. So I'll be hanging out with y'all in the blackest place in the United States, um, in Hot Atlanta. I see you, Florida, in the building. I see you, Union, New Jersey. I see you. I see you, Tampa Bay. What's happening, Tampa Bay? I know it got to be hot out there. I had to put the AC on yesterday. Um, all right, Faye. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Come on, y'all. Rep your city, rep your town. H Town. The H Town be rolling deep. They just be Houston, Houston, H Town, Houston, Houston. Houston in the building. Anybody gonna top Houston? Can anybody top Houston? Rep your city, rep your town. Rep your city, rep your town. I know if I ever move to Houston, I'm gonna have a place to go.
I see you, New Jersey. I see you, New Jersey. Go ahead, rep your city, rep your town, rep your field. Let me know where you're coming in from. Where y'all at? Twitter Spacers. Where y'all at? YouTube. Okay, YouTube is representing. I see you, YouTube. Where y'all at? The 313 on Instagram. I don't know where the 313 is. John Bibbs, tell me where the 313 is. I don't be recognizing area code sometimes. Ow, Keith Bass, my frat brother, uh, over on the gram. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on, Graham, where y'all at? Detroit. All right, that's Detroit. 313. I should have known that, man. I should have known 313. I got a bunch of Detroit numbers in my contact list. Some important Detroit people. I should have known that. Detroit in the building. Yes, sir. H-Town, I love y'all too. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 90.7 WTCC. Good morning. Welcome to the Black Love Experience. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan II. Happy Friday, TGI and the F. All right, the weekend is here. The warm weather is here. Had to turn on the ACs and all of that stuff. Look like summer is finally kicking in. And it's getting hot in here. Yeah, getting hot. You know, Elon and Trump is fighting, something we always knew would happen because egos of that size can't play in the sandbox for too long, you know, without there being a problem. But there's some casualties of their alliance. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the casualties of that unholy alliance. A lot of good people have been hurt over the last 7 months, and a lot more are going to be hurt. But we're going to talk about that. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I got people from all over the place. But H-Town, Houston is rolling deep with me this morning, y'all. I don't know. I don't even know if Springfield got Houston beat. Where y'all at in the field? Because if y'all listening, y'all ain't representing. Y'all ain't keeping it real. You ain't representing. Where you at, Field? Y'all letting Houston just take y'all out like we in Houston. We ain't in Houston, man. We in Massachusetts, but Houston is rolling deep. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to be a honorary Houstonian. My daughter just moved out to Houston not too long ago. I gotta go out there to her wedding next year. Yeah. Anyway, Al, Keith Bass, my fraternity brother, all the IOTAs that are in the building or listening. Good morning to each and every one of you, the brothers of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Yes, I see you, Mother Annie Beard. I see you. I see the field. I see the field kicking in. I see the field kicking in. All right, the field is kicking in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on, field. I need some more field. Some more Houston. Some more Houston. I got Detroit in the building. I got Florida in the building. I got ATL in the building. I got Virginia up in the building. I got New Jersey in the building. I got Florida up in here. Yes. Yes. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. We're going to get into this conversation right after this. Tell somebody Bishop is on the air. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Let somebody know the Black Love Experience is on this Friday, TGIF. Don't go nowhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Slow to speak, quick to listen, and remember this: you haven't lived long enough to know everything. Your character is what matters most. Once you have been labeled with a bad reputation, it's hard for people to see you any other way. A good name is worth more than all the money in the world. Your life is broken up into 3 parts. First you learn, then you earn, and then you return. You gotta get back.
San Diego, Riverside, all right, California kicking in. Let's go, West Coast. Yes.
You say you sold out because black women are loud and crass. What? And your precious white woman is the epitome of good?
West Coast in the house.
So blind that you cannot see? That pale girl child ain't got nothing on me. For hundreds of years we have stood by your side, accepted your flaws and allowed you your pride, bore your children and cleaned up your mess, satisfied your lust and always settled for less. We have stayed in the background and allowed you to lead.
Come on, represent, y'all. Where y'all at?
Strength and ability to succeed, never getting the praise and credit we deserve, but having the courage, the will,
And the nerve.
for being the backbone that has kept it together for you and our children in all kinds of weather. And now suddenly you say we're not good enough for you. We forced you to sell out because of the things we do. Well, where was that white woman when that white man you hate
Was cracking the whip
in the boardroom, the warehouse, and
on the slave ship
she stood by his side and didn't say a word, waiting for her own chance
to rule and be heard.
And now it's her you turn to and treat like a queen, and me and my sisters
You choose to demean.
Well, hold up, wait a minute, and stop the damn bus.
Stop the
Because there are a
bus.
few things I need to remind you about us. Listen up. A more beautiful creature
God never made.
than an African woman, no matter her shade. High, yellow, red bone, or
Cocoa Brown.
we are more than worthy of wearing a crown. Ebony, mocha, or black as the night. It is we who have always shared in your plight. We are passionate, spiritual,
Loving and kind.
a more generous heart you'll never find than the one that beats inside the body of a Nubian queen, the hardest working, loving, giving woman you've ever seen. For we give and forgive
Until there's little left.
then we're forced to put up our guard to avoid your theft. The theft of our hearts and our trust, the very nature of our soul.
For these so-called brothers who are just playing a role.
And you wonder why some of us act as we do? Take a look in the mirror, because the
Answer is you.
It's not enough that the white man has always tried to keep us down, and still is. But our own men act as though they'd love to see us drown. And white women have never invited us to join their
Equal rights struggle.
So we're out here alone with a million things
We juggle.
raising the children that black men leave behind, and dealing with the racism of the daily corporate grind. Damn, it's no wonder some of us are loud. Hell, we're just trying to be heard. In a world where everyone, including our men, ignore our every word. Where are the brothers who understand a black woman's worth?
Right here, I got
Who will protect and stand by us, for we are the salt.
Of this earth.
We birthed you, raised you.
I see you,
and showered you
Massachusetts.
with love. It was we who taught you to love your creator.
All right, 413 kicking in.
All we had and taught you to be men. Open your eyes. It is us, your black sisters, not Bo Derek's kind who rates a perfect 10. And one final word for the sellout too.
Claim to be brothers.
When you turn your back on us, you disrespect your mothers. Did you hear that?
Did y'all hear that? 90.7. Did y'all hear that? That's a response to the sellout. Y'all know who you is. That's bad English, but that's good preaching. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here. If you want to chime in on the conversation, we'll put that up momentarily. And while we were on our little music break, we had some more check-ins from the West Coast. All right, California, decided, hold up, wait a minute. Let us put some Cali in it. So they came in from San Diego. They came in from Riverside. They came in from LA. All right. You know what I'm saying? They said, y'all not going to just, they said, Houston, y'all not just going to take everything, California we going to jump in here. And then I had some more Detroits jump in the building. Detroit is in here trying to, act like they trying to take the crown from y'all, Houston. I don't know. And then my hometown folks from Massachusetts kicked in here. The 413 jumped up in the house. They said, hold up now. We're not going to have this show housed in Massachusetts and we not going to represent. Then Inkster, Michigan jumped up in here. Good morning. All right, y'all doing your thing this morning. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you coming in from. I see you, Elder Samuel Davis. Good morning to you, sir. Good to see you. Bluntsville, Florida, jumping up in the building. That's Elder Sam Davis. Elder Sammy Davis. Good morning to you, sir. Houston, just jumping in here. Just jumping in. You right. Houston has been consistently coming in from day one. No doubt about it. Got to count Houston among my most faithful listeners. But good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to another edition of the Black Love Experience as we're going into the weekend. A lot of stuff going on. Okay, Ohio. All right. Ohio said we will not be denied. Even if I'm the only one to represent, I got to come in here and represent the OHIO. Fire. Okay. I'm aging myself because y'all young people don't even know what that reference is. That's the Ohio Players. One of their hits from the 70s. So I get it. Y'all weren't born. So you didn't know what I was talking about. I understand. 413-736-2781. But Dave's the only ones out there because some of y'all did get that reference because y'all old like me. Oh, man. So let's unpack this foolery. I ran out of popcorn yesterday. It was kind of comical. Ran out of popcorn watching the Elon Musk Trump foolery happening. Let me get Crypto Saint in here. Crypto Santa, you got the microphone. Come on, Crypto. Crypto going once. Crypto going twice. Crypto is gone. All right, now y'all got to be quick on the draw. If you're going to put in your request to speak, you got to speak. You can't be sleeping or making coffee, when I let you on the platform. All right. 413-736-2781. Let me get that number up here. 413-736-2781 is the telephone number if you want to chime in on the conversation. Put your request in the space and we'll get you in here. So what began as a transactional alliance, it was never It was never about government efficiency. It was never about getting rid of government waste and fraud and all that kind of stuff that they've been talking. It's never about the narrative that they're talking about. Okay? And you're right. You're right. It's a distraction. It is a distraction. Because it was never about any of the stuff that they're talking about. Somebody said something about Bishop Warren Doris. All right, okay. All right, Joliet, Illinois. Yes, that's my friend. That's the Bishop of Venezuela, Bishop Warren Doris. Good morning to you. It was never, it never had anything to do with making the government efficient. So it was always a transactional alliance. Musk wanted something. Trump wanted something. Trump wanted to be president. Musk wanted to get rid of all of the pending investigations against his companies and against himself. He was being investigated by multiple government agencies. And the only way to deal with that was to get his guy in the White House to make him go away. So he spent over $250 million to get Trump elected. And people look at that as an astronomical amount of money. It's not when you look at what he got on the return. Because what he got on the return was he was able to get in under the guise of DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and gut the agencies that were investigating him. All right, tie their hands, get rid of the investigations, pretty much shut them down. And then he increased his wealth through government contracts and stuff by $100 billion. So you spent $250 million. You increased your wealth by $100 billion. Come on, man. That's a wise investment, some would say. And Trump got to be, what is perceived as the most powerful man in the world, as the president of the United States. So they both got something valuable out of the deal. But now it's supposedly devolved into a public feud. I don't know whether it's a real feud or not, or whether it's Elon trying to salvage his reputation or his companies or whatever the case may be. Good morning, caller. Okay. 413-736-2781. Y'all got to be patient. Y'all some impatient folk. Chi-Town's in the house. My daughter Whitney is chimed into the conversation. Good morning, baby girl. So it's devolved into this public feud. So after contributing, some say it was closer to $300 million to Trump's 2024 campaign, he gets appointed to lead the made up, because this isn't a real government department. It hadn't been sanctioned or created by Congress or anything like that. So there's really no real Department of Government Efficiency. It was an executive order signed by Trump to create it, and gave him the power to implement cuts across federal agencies, which led to the termination of thousands of federal employees, including veterans, including people with disabilities, dismantling programs that are vital to the most vulnerable populations. They just last week shut down all the Job Corps centers across the nation. I talked about that on Monday. Black youth, poor youth, homeless youth, job training programs, just gone, got rid of it. Under Musk, Doge targeted agencies like the Department of Education, which resulted in the firing of nearly half of its workforce. I think y'all really need to pay attention to what's been happening. This stuff has been devastating. And there are many families who have felt the brunt of this. People made careers in the Department of Education. My mother worked for the Massachusetts Department of Education her entire career and retired from there. Canceled $900 million in contracts for the Department of Education, including those that were supporting student loan services and educational research. Social Security Administration got cut. Laid off 7,000 employees. Closed offices that are crucial to processing Social Security benefits for seniors and people with disabilities. Because they don't care about the most vulnerable. And here's a real sticking point with me. As this feud was unfolding and Trump and Musk were throwing shots at each other through social media like two children, white evangelicals put out a clarion call to pray that God would provide divine restoration of Trump and Elon's relationship. Because, in this day and time where the most vulnerable people are having resources and services to them cut, where the most vulnerable, or what Jesus called in their evangelical Bible, what Jesus called the least of these, are being negatively affected. Their priority is to pray for two grown behind, egomaniacal, white supremacist billionaires to get along. Like that, in this day and time, that's the most important thing that we ought to be praying for. We're not praying for the poor, the hungry, the homeless, the disabled, the refugee, the sick. We're not praying against racism and war and disease and conflict that's happening all over the planet. That the important thing for us to put a clarion call across the country is pray for Trump and Elon to get along. This is the white Christian church in America. Out of everything there is to pray, we're not praying against domestic violence. We're not praying against children being molested. We're not praying for children who are living beneath the poverty level, who are being kidnapped and who are being abused. We're not praying for none of that stuff. We praying that Trump and Elon get along. This is the white Christian church in America. Praying to white Jesus so a couple billionaire white supremacists can get along better so they can all feel good. Absolutely pathetic. So while they're cutting programs to the least of these, while they're laying off career federal employees, cutting people off from their pensions and their livelihood and their ability to feed their families and pay their mortgages. Simultaneously, investigations into Musk companies by federal agencies were stopped. Oversight bodies that enforced government regulations into his companies were dismantled. Okay? And even though there were legitimate concerns about conflicts of interest, the erosion of regulatory checks, they didn't do nothing about it. And Elon Musk's net worth increased in the last 7 months, doing all that stuff, by over $100 billion. So while communities across the nation were grappling with the loss of essential services, while Trump was denying hurricane relief to the citizens of North Carolina, Elon Musk's net worth was increasing by $100 billion. And now, as they exchange public insults like two toddlers fighting, as they exchange insults and threats, Musk claiming Trump was in the Epstein files, Trump threatening to sever Elon's government contracts, while these two grown behind men are publicly fighting and distracting us, like one listener let us know. The collateral damage of their unholy alliance has become painstakingly evident. Because the individuals who relied on the programs and services they dismantled are left to bear the brunt of their collaboration, which has now seemingly come to a close. I mean, just look at what has happened since January, since he first stepped into office, signing executive order after executive order, terminating thousands of federal employees of critical agencies like the Department of Education, like the Social Security Administration, a negative impact on services like student loans, like disability benefits, like educational research, like pediatric cancer research. How do you cut programs for cancer research that will save the lives of children? This is what these guys were doing. And then you got white preachers and Negro preachers still talking about this guy sent from God. I saw a Negro preacher questioning how Christians could vote for the governor of Michigan, and he's proudly wearing a Trump hat. So you can vote for a genital grabbing 34-time convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, pathological lying son of a Klansman, and feel all Christian about it, and then question someone else's Christianity based on who they vote for, who, no matter who it is, is a far better person than Donald Trump. It's the audacity of these Negroes. Then they dismantled oversight and investigate. I want you to really pay attention to that. They dismantled oversight and investigations. Multiple companies were being investigated. All of that came to a screeching halt. Those oversight bodies were dismantled. So no more regulatory accountability, no more public trust, no more accountability for any of Musk's companies. I mean, he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. So I don't feel, that's why ain't nobody feeling bad because Tesla stock went down, because people were boycotting Tesla and all that stuff. Not when his overall wealth increased by $100 billion. Ain't nobody gonna be feeling bad for this man. No. Yes, I did. I called those Negro preachers who question people's Christianity based on who they vote for. The Negro preachers who tell you that you're not saved if you vote for a Democrat. But then they can vote for depraved individuals like Donald Trump. You don't get to question anybody's commitment to Christianity when you justify and defend a man whose personal actions and public policies are all antithetical to anything that remotely resembles Christianity. You don't get to judge anyone's salvation. Yes, I call them Negroes. House Negroes. Okay, to be specific. House Negroes. What's the matter, boss? We sick type Negroes. Step and fetch it kind of Negroes. Hopscotching, skinning and grinning kind of Negroes. The Negroes who went down to the White House for the Black History program, while the guy they were celebrating Black History Month with is threatening HBCUs, threatening to cut the funding of HBCUs if they teach Black history. The Negroes who went down to pray for Paula White, the woman who was calling on the African angels to come and save Donald Trump, who then went and said, you know what, we don't even need these Negroes to get Trump elected. Yeah, those Negro preachers. That's what I call them. 413-736-2781. House Negro preachers. And, you know, we've had the House Negro with us. I mean, they're always going to be with us. Always going to be with us. We always going to have House Negroes. Like the House Negroes on TikTok talking about Harriet Tubman wasn't a real person. Somebody whose life is like one of the most well-documented lives in U.S. history. Talking about she wasn't a real person. House Negroes. Y'all know some of them. Some of y'all listening are House Negroes. Y'all got House Negroes in your family. Yeah, that cousin, that sister, that brother, that voted for Trump, who's justifying stuff, who talking about Trump is down with the Christians because he's against abortion. Yeah, those house Negroes, those house Negroes. Um, boy, I'm telling y'all, it's imperative that we hold leaders accountable for actions that prioritize personal gain over the public welfare. And that's not just from our elected officials, that's from our pastors and others. Um, we've got to engage them to empower people to be able to cope with the devastating and traumatic effects of what's going on in this day and age. Listen, I'm a preacher. I love good preaching. I love preaching the Bible stories and all of that. But if only thing you doing is preaching the stories and um, not making them relevant to what is happening in this day and age, then you just sitting up there giving a bunch of nursery rhymes. Um, and people need more than that. People need more than that in this day and age. They need to be empowered and to be inspired. Every sermon ought to have some information. It ought to have some revelation, and then it ought to have some inspiration. Um, I talked about on Monday this war on our youth, because if you disenfranchise our youth, if you take resources and opportunities away from our youth, what do? They create the commodity for the prison industrial complex. So last Sunday, when they shut down Job Corps centers around the nation, the largest residential education and job training program for youth, particularly black youth, a heartless move that shuttered campuses and evicted tens of thousands of students, many who were homeless before they got there, stripping away one of the few lifelines that poor and marginalized youth had in the country. They're starting by attacking our youth. And none of these decisions that have been made over the last 6 months have been about fiscal responsibility. It's all been about ideological cruelty. Let's stick it to those people that we hate. That's what this is about, y'all. And that's why I can't get with all of these people who all of a sudden got buyer's remorse. All of the Trump supporters who are now, they got viral videos all over the place of these Trump supporters all complaining about how they regret that they voted for Trump. I ain't impressed by that. I don't really care that you regret that you voted for Trump. And you know why? And somebody said to me, well, we need more people on our side. And if they've seen the light and they haven't seen the light, that's what y'all need to understand. Y'all need to understand that it's not like all of a sudden,
we need.
it's not like all of a sudden they have decided um, um, that, oh, Trump is evil and what he's doing is evil and the people he's hurting deserve better, and we were on the wrong side of history, and now we had this epiphany, and we want to join in the struggle against this wickedness. That's not what has happened. And that's what you need to understand. What has happened is all of the cuts and firings and dismantling and getting rid of programs and stuff that Trump has done has affected them. And now they're feeling the pain that they were okay with other people feeling. Okay? So they were going to stick with Trump and be okay with Trump and celebrate Trump and defend Trump as long as his actions hurt y'all. As long as it hurt black people. As long as it hurt them black and brown immigrants. As long as it hurt those poor people who don't look like them. As long as it hurt the other. They were cool with it. It's not like they all of a sudden come to the realization that what he was doing is wrong. They're upset that, oh, it affected me. I didn't expect to lose my job. We didn't expect to lose our benefits. We didn't expect for our farm to go under. We didn't expect. There was one Republican white supremacist construction company owner in Florida who voted for Trump, defended Trump, donated thousands of dollars to Trump, who got upset because there was an ICE raid on one of his construction sites. And about 100 of his employees got rounded up for deportation. All of a sudden he says, you're going to devastate the construction industry. I didn't expect for this to happen. I thought they were going to deport the criminals, the drug dealers. I didn't expect for them to deport my workers. So he was cool with people being rounded up by ICE and being deported as long as it wasn't the undocumented immigrants that work for him, probably for wages that are far below what he should have been paying them. So now he regrets that he voted for Trump because his company is being affected. His bottom line is being affected. Not because he's come to the realization that what Trump is doing is wrong across the board. He's upset that it's affecting me. So I have no empathy for these folks who got buyer's remorse only because it's now affecting me and my family and my company and my bottom line. No, I don't care. Y'all go ahead. I don't have any remorse for our Latino brothers and sisters who were down with Trump, who are now upset about what's happening to their families. You know, the one Latino sister who was dancing with the Trump flag and stuff, and then another video she was crying about, my family is being torn apart. You know, as far as I'm concerned, what y'all doing this weekend? Because that's what you voted for. And you were okay if some of your other Latino brothers and sisters were being deported. You just didn't want it to happen to your family. So you were down with the I will vote for Donald Trump. Yeah, I got, sorry y'all. I got no empathy. I got no time to be tripping over. I got no time to be worrying about. I got no time where I'm going to be sitting up here concerned about y'all who were okay with other people being hurt. Yeah, no, no. If y'all was okay, as long as they hurting other folk, we good. Just don't come for us. Yeah, no, we not doing that. We is not doing that. Okay, so call it what you want to call it. Call it what you want. Yeah, y'all don't get the benefit of our sympathy because you certainly were not sympathetic or empathetic to other people that were being hurt. 413-736-2781 is the number here. About 10 minutes left in the program. Phone lines are open. Anybody wants to chime in on the conversation, you're more than welcome to. Want to invite you to be our special guest at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. 35 Alden Street, Bishop Talbert Swan Way, the brick church right there at Six Corners. 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday morning. Sunday school starts at 10 a.m. Prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today. Would love to have you as our special guest to be with us. So yeah, brothers and sisters, this is about punishing the poor. This is about dismantling opportunities for black people, for brown people, for our youth. This is about reinforcing the caste structure that has always wanted to keep us in our proverbial place. I used to work at Westover Job Corps Center. Around the time my daughter Dristel was born, it just keeps reminding me I'm getting old. Because Dristel will be this month. Her birthday is June 25th, and she'll be 33. She will be 33 this month. So, over 30 years ago, I worked at Westover Job Corps. I knew firsthand how that program didn't just provide vocational training, but in many cases, it restored dignity to these young folks. It restored purpose. It restored hope. And it offered structure to youth, many who had faced abandonment, many who had faced homelessness, many who were on their way to incarceration or systemic neglect. It gave them a place to belong. It put role models in front of them. I still run into people who are grown today, who are literally in their 40s, who came through Job Corps when I was a counselor there, and still thank me to this day for what we poured into them. Now that sanctuary cruelly has been stripped away with a signature and a shrug, like it's no big deal. And this is not some isolated action, brothers and sisters. This is a pattern. This is an all-out war being waged on the most vulnerable, on who Jesus called the least of these. That's why I say evangelical Christianity is nothing but white supremacy in drag. Because there's no way you read the same Bible that I read and you support this type of cruelty. Slashing funding for cancer research and public education and black history museums and reversing police accountability reforms, and you want to provide aid to white South African farmers but deny disaster relief to poor black communities in North Carolina. This is cruelty with calculation. This is strategized spite against people that we hate. This is racism in real time. In real time, y'all. I didn't play this. I need to play this.
Views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of WTCC Radio or Springfield Technical Community College.
And so, it's disturbing. The moral hypocrisy of the so-called Christian leaders, black and white, who support this. It is absolutely disturbing. And the cognitive dissonance of how they can condemn others and question their Christianity while they support something that is so obviously unchristian is just unfathomable. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Bishop. I'm just trying to find out if the judge blocked that closing of the job corps.
No, not as of yet that I know of. The judge, well, so far a judge has blocked his denying international students visas to attend Harvard, but has not blocked closing Job Corps.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at it on Google, and I thought the judge put a block in on Trump's blocking closing of the job corps.
Yeah, those centers closed as of Sunday. People were moving off campuses, and thousands of students and thousands of people were losing their jobs, and it's a sad situation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, it's a sad situation. But these Christians, they're not praying. That's what's killing me. They're not praying for these kids that lost their opportunity. They're not praying for these people who lost their jobs. But they praying for Trump and Elon to get along better. Because that's what's important right now, is that we need these white supremacists to get along. And the heck with these kids who lost their opportunities because they shut down Job Corps. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. It seems like every show we come on with some bad news, and some of y'all probably like Eveline. Don't nobody give me no more bad news. But we got to talk about what's happening. Come on by Spring of Hope on Sunday, and we'll lift your spirits a little bit. Coming up next is mid-morning jazz and great black music. Don Felton is in the studio. He's up next. He's going to make it smooth. He's going to make it personal. So keep it locked right here to 90.7 FM. I'll be back with you on Monday on the spoken word. And until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you and so do I. Peace and blessings.
Morning, my brother. How you doing today?
I'm good. How you feel?
Great. On vacation this week, man. Trying to get some chores done.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is for all the brothers that passed, but more particularly one because it